to play action. I've read a couple books that talk about attaching play action to your drop back game, like Y cross especially is a good one. I've seen videos on that, and I've read that in books. I was like, hey, have you ever even bothered with that?
Yeah, we run Y cross out of play action now.
Okay, so that is a
It's taken me years to get to that. I had a buddy, Shane Dular, who's been trying to sell me for 10 years, and I finally listened to him, and it was one of our most effective plays this year.
Okay, so yeah, I think it was one of the clinics that he did with Mackie. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to draw it up here in a second, and there is a video out there on it. But and we used to be a big boot waggle team.
Right, I don't want to get into that.
We've kind of gotten away from it. Haven't had it in the system, haven't had it in the insertion in probably 12 years. But when we used to use more attached tight ends, and I don't know, do you use an attached tight end?
So yeah, that's the thing I would say is the big. I'm not exclusively, but I'd say about 60% of the time I have a wing or an attached tight end.
Okay, so if you have an attached tight end, the boot concept is a great concept.
Well, hitch boot out of that,
because we almost never have an attached tight end, and we don't. Well, we actually have a kid who's got the body for it now, but we just don't ever have an attached tight end. But if I did use attached tight end, I would always have this play. And so I'll draw up the boot that we got from Hal Mummy that was one of our first successful plays when I went to high school, was this boot play, this naked boot that we got from Hal. And then I'll show you how we do the 95 with the play action. And like I said, it was one of our most explosive plays this year. So let me.
So I think that I did talk to them about attaching play action to Y cross to 95. So I think that'll ease some of their.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me get rid of this right here. All right, so I do have a video out there. I put it out there right at the end of the season. And this comes straight from Shane Dular. I just stole it from him, but it was a tremendous play for us this year. It's just we ran out of slot. It doesn't matter. You can have it attached tight end with it, but we were doing it just because we're a lot of 2x1, and simple read, and it was just a really good play. I should have listened to Shane a long time ago. So Y cross is just normal. It's under the first, over the second. Get across the field, sit down in any window you find. If you run out of bounds, you're running out of bounds at 22 yards deep. The X is running a skinny post, and he's trying to keep it down the hash. The H is running the shallow. I really like this route. The Z is running a post curl.
Yeah.
And then F is play actioning and running the shoot route over here. And this is why it was so good. And let me see if I can make the screen bigger. This is why it was so good. Do you see this toolbar in the way?
I just see the little cursor.
All right. This is why it's so good. And this is also why it took me so long to buy into it, is we read this. I'm having trouble drawing now.
Dang. It's a cursor now. I think you lost your pen.
I lost my pen. How do I get my pen back?
I don't know. you said that when you said something about the tools. There it goes.
There it is. All right. So this is what stopped me from doing it, and this is why it's so good. The quarterback play actions, takes his drop. His eyes are on this free safety from the get-go. If this free safety gets depth, he knows that he's going to go cross to shoot. If this free safety hangs at all, for whatever reason, he is throwing this skinny post for a touchdown right now. So it goes post to cross to shoot, or we can call strong and it'll come back. Let me see if I can get rid of my pen again if I do that.
Yeah, you mentioned that in your courses, like the strong, you have it's
shallow. It's curl to shallow. If we call strong, it goes curl to shallow, but he'll still read this free safety. So he'll read free safety, If the free safety gains depth, then he comes back and goes curl to shallow on the strong side. But this play, this is just 95. But by reading that free safety and putting that play action on it, now you occupy the linebackers. There you go, your key word. Yeah, you occupy your linebackers, and you get this home run shot that is there like an unbelievable amount of time. So it became a high percentage play for us with a high percentage big play added to it by just going skinny post right there. And this was our best receiver. He's a big, strong kid, and he was hauling tail. So this became a touchdown play for us. And if the touchdown shot wasn't there, it became a high percentage completion, either to the Y, our Y. We had a freshman Y who's going to be really, really good. And he got good at running this route. And then this was our tailback over here in the flat. So, I mean, it seemed like every option was a good option on this deal. So this became it became the only way we ran 95 for the majority of the season. It was automatic play action. And by play action, you're getting them linebackers occupied for just a second, so they're not carrying this Y cross across the field. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yeah, because I was familiar enough with Y cross, and we ran it, and we did 7-on-7 for the first time this year in the summer with a couple other schools, and that was phenomenal. We even had there were so many sixth graders that were out with us that I talked to some of the other coaches, and we got sixth graders in on 7-on-7. And if you don't think, man, we had 20 fans, 20, 30 parents showing up cheering sixth graders at 7-on-7, and Y cross worked on that crossing route worked on that format. I had never called it in a game yet though. Not in the last 2 years. So
well, it hadn't been a play that I called a bunch in the past. Matter of fact,
yeah.
I took it out of insertion multiple different times during the past years, but I finally pulled the trigger on Shane's way of doing it, and man, it was a big play for us this year. And just that skinny post was just a gimme a lot of the times. And then once the Y got good at running the cross, I mean, it just became a great play for us. It really was. It was a great play for us, and it was our only true play action pass. We got some RPOs. Okay. We'll actually read a linebacker, but that was our only true play action pass. Let me show you this. This was Hal just called this boot. And really, it was when Hal would get under center. We did it. We don't get under center at all, so we do it out of gun. But all it was it was a inside zone. Oh man, what am I doing here? Let me see. All right, it was inside zone. This quarterback, I mean, this Y blocks for 1,003, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, and then he runs a straight shoot route. The Z's on the clear, the H is on a 10-yard cross, and I think we used to call it BYA, where the X would replace the free safety, and the quarterback would ride it hard and then boot out of there, and it was 1, 2, 3 was quarterback running it. And
that's so similar to hitch boot, except for you're not having that pre-snap hitch.
Very similar, but this came straight from Hal Mummy, and probably my first 5 years running the offense, this was one of our most, matter of fact, this was the first touchdown I ever had coaching high school was on this boot play. And it was just a real staple of the offense for a long time. And we really only got rid of it probably 10 years ago, just because we almost never have an attached tight end anymore. So then, you had to figure out, okay, so how are we going to, from a slot, what does this route turn into? And it just was never as effective as it was when he was attached and he was actually blocking the defensive end. And the only coaching point is, since it's a true naked, you tell this tight end, you're going to get excited and you're going to run out of there too quick. And if you run out too quick, your defensive end is going to sack the quarterback every time, that you really got to block 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, and then release, and you'll be wide open and you'll be able to catch that thing and turn it up and go for miles. So those are the two play actions. We don't use that boot play anymore, but I'm telling you, for the first 5 years I ran this thing, that was a huge play for us.